Happy Monday! I hope you like my post this morning about the seashells. I just love that picture and I had to post it because it's so true, right? We are all so unique and we all have something to offer, whether it is through working for ourselves or working for a company or whatever it is. It doesn't matter how you've chosen to, live out your life. But the fact is that however you do it, the most important thing is that you're using your gifts and that you're helping and sharing those gifts with other people, right? And so that's why I'm showing up, because I love to help people and I love to share my gifts with other people too. And one of my favorite gifts that I didn't realize for a long time was even a gift is my power of positivity. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Pollyanna. It's an old Disney movie, and if you know anything about my life, you know that Disney has been a part of my life since I was a very wee child. Before I was born, actually, Disney was part of my life. So Pollyanna was definitely one of the favorites in the house. But the story of Pollyanna is this girl that is always seeing the positive no matter what she's going through. And, it's a whole story. I don't have to get into the whole thing. But I've definitely been seen as a Pollyanna in my life, right? And for a lot of people, there's arguments. It's like, Jen, but shitty shit happens. Why are you always in such a good mood? How are you always in such a good mood? You have to let yourself feel your feelings too. And, you can't, or you're just going to bottle it up. Like you're ignoring the problem. Like you hear all these things when you come from a positive place, right? And especially if you're having problems at work and, there's things going on, and it's like, well, how can you see the positive in this? And I'm like, for me, that's just how my mind goes. That's how my mind works. But I didn't realize for a long time that this was something that I had trained my brain to do, mostly subconsciously. But it really helps, especially in times like this right now where, I'm on furlough, my husband's on furlough. Like we could be sitting around worried every second of the day, what are we gonna do? But instead, I've chosen to use my powers for good, as has he, and he's painting the pool house right now, and I appreciate every second of time he spent outside in this ridiculous hot weather. And I'm doing this, sharing some positivity with you. So how do you do this? How do you go from being in a shitty situation to flipping your mindset to something that's going to work out and be a power for good? First of all, you surround yourself with awesome things like this adorable cat that decided to come say hi. Say hi, Adso. Yes, there's got to be a bird or something out here. Seriously, so what do? So and how you're going to deal with it. All of a sudden, my connection has decided that it doesn't want to work well. So hopefully you can still see this. But so the point is you have a choice, right? And things are going to happen. That is 100%. And you know what? You can be pissed about that stuff. You can be sad and mad and all that. Because that's also been. We're going to have these feelings and these emotions, especially right now when we're going through COVID and we're stuck in our houses and we can't do what we love. There's so many different things that you're going through, but we get to decide where we're going to put our energy. And we can choose to recognize those feelings. We can sit with those. I love to journal. I love to meditate. There's so many different things that I do to kind of work through all that. But then in the end, I decide how I'm going to show up. And I decide to show up in a way that I know I can, that's best for my mindset. Like if all I focus on is the negative, then guess what is going to come to me? More negative. What you think about, you bring about. So the more that you can think about all of the good that you have in your life and all of the positive things, that's when the opportunities are going to show up. And that's when you're going to be able to really bring more of that good and more of that positive into your life. You could look at this from the perspective of, okay, I'm stuck. I can't do the things that I'm, just hanging out at home, not doing anything. Or I can say, you know what, I'm up for myself. I'm going to show up for the people that deserve to hear what I have to say. And I have something to offer, right? And especially when we've been doing the same thing for so long, it can be really hard to know what that is. So it's time to oh, hey, Mohammed. So it's time now to really just sit with that for a little bit and know that you are capable. Know that you have the ability to flip this, whatever the circumstance is, and see it from a different perspective, right? So if you're having trouble with that, it's probably because your brain isn't trained to do it very often. So next time you're having that challenge, I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about, okay, so yeah, this thing's happening and this sucks, and it's okay that things suck, because they do. But what am I going to get out of this? How am I going to come out the other side of this? What do I want this to be, right? You know what you don't want, and that's that shitty situation. But what do you want? And then focus on that. Focus on the future. Focus on where you see yourself going with what it is that you're doing. And then that's what's going to pull you through this. And that's what's going to help give you that mindset to be able to get to the other side, right? What I want is to be able to help as many people as I can pivot during this pandemic. I want to help them come up with ways to use their skills and be able to do things that I know that they're capable of, and that they may just not know is an opportunity, right? There's so many opportunities out there, and we've got to have the ability to see those opportunities. And the way that works is through a positive mindset. I like your thinking in a positive way. Thank you so much. Yeah, it makes all the difference, and it comes with practice. You literally are retraining your brain to think in a certain way. In a certain way means knowing that you have the ability to choose, and you have the ability to control your situation. You may not be able to control the situation, but you can control how you react to that. And the one thing I also want to, just give you some kudos on is that being aware of that is the first thing you can do. So when you're in that position and you're feeling crappy about it and you're just bummed and whatever, it's like, just take a minute and just note that that's what's happening, and notice how you're feeling, and say, okay, this is where I'm at, and where do I want to get to? And it might, if this is, it could take you a lot longer than it would if you have been retraining your brain for a while. So if it takes you a few days and all of a sudden you look back and you're like, I was having a crappy day the other day. Man, I wish I could have changed my mindset on that. Next time you have a crappy day, you're going to notice it sooner, and you may be able to change your mindset sooner. And literally things that I do. So things that I'll do is put on Esther Hicks on YouTube. I have a couple of favorite videos, YouTube's audios that I like to play. I'll drop the links because they're my favorite. I journal. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. That stupid connection thing's doing something. So when I journal, you kind of start at a point where you're like, okay, this is bad, or I'm not in a good spot right now. And I like to just write at the top, why am I feeling this way? Or how can I stop feeling this way? Or just ask myself a question. And then I answer that question. And as I go through that and I journal, actually, I end up coming up with a solution through these different steps, right? And those are just a couple of different tips when you are feeling like you're having a crappy day. But the whole thing is, number one, be aware of what's going on, and know that you get to have that control, and you have the ability to make the change for now, because this crazy Wi-Fi signals drive guys are able to still see this. And I'm going to go with you are, because that's my positive attitude for today. And we will catch up tomorrow for some other fun chit chats. So we'll catch up soon. All right. Bye, guys.